Okay, so I'll just ask you for your first questions. Marcel Kabát, Lidové noviny.
Marcel Kabát. Mr. Kaufman, would films like Eternal Sunshine or Being John Malkovich would look different if you directed them on your own? And is your intention to direct your future films on your own?
Yeah, but to both, I think. I mean, obviously, Michel Gondry has his own very distinct style, and we collaborated a lot on the look. And but Michel is brilliant at these kind of practical visual effects, and yeah, it would look different. And yes, I hope to continue directing. I would collaborate with Michel or Spike or somebody else again on something if it felt right. But I'm trying to get my own directing career a little more active.
The lady in the first row.
Hi.
My question would be, first of all, that thank you. So normally the animation movies are really like having a big scenery and a lot of times, and now it became like the Red Turtle this year in Cannes, and now your movie, but animation movie comes like a more simplified and like almost like a monologue. Or do you think it's a new way for animation or stop motion movies? You know what I mean, like real deep personal movements, personal sceneries, personal stories shown by puppets, shown by animation. So is it like a new style, and how do you think that you can move on with this if you want to go forward with this?
I mean, I think animation is a form like any other form. It's not a genre. It can be used for anything. It can be used for, big, fantastic movies. It can be used for children's movies, obviously. But, we were thinking we wanted to, use it for an adult movie. And so we did, and we tailored it, the look, to what we thought was appropriate for that. I hope that there comes to be a broader understanding of what animation could be, and that there's more opportunity for different styles of animated films to exist in the world. It's tough to know, because I think our movie didn't, like, if our movie made $100 million, I mean, the terrain would change. Obviously, there would be more adult movies, but that didn't happen. So, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people clamoring to make these R-rated animated movies anytime soon.
Thank you. Mirka Spáčilová, Mladá fronta dnes.
Dobrý den, Spáčilová, Mladá fronta dnes. Je mi ctí, že vás tady můžeme přivítat, a chtěla bych vám říct takovou zajímavý zážitek. Několik lidí různých generací mi tady vyprávělo o tom, že Věčný svět neposkvrněné mysli je kultovní film jejich generace. Tak by mě zajímalo, jestli člověk, tvůrce, když pracuje na scénáři snímku, jestli ví vůbec, dokáže odhadnout, že se tomu filmu bude jednou říkat kultovní. A co pro vás vlastně výraz kultovní znamená? Děkuju.
No, I don't think we thought about that at all. I mean, we just tried to get the film made. We knew when we had the idea that the studios were interested in it, and there were different people who wanted to produce it. So, but that it would have, I don't know what kind of effect anything is going to have on anybody, and I don't think about those things. I just try to do something that interests me. So that's what we did, and then the way people react to it is sort of an unknown, or until it's known, then it's not an unknown anymore.
Thank you. Nick from The Hollywood Reporter, okay.
Nick Holdsworth from The Hollywood Reporter.
Hi.
Hi. I was reading your interview this morning in the Festival Daily, and you mentioned that it's much better to make we do read it. Much better to make your own movies than, say, to make a blockbuster. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not your choice. Does it get any easier making the sort of films that you make in today's Hollywood?
No, it's gotten considerably harder for me to get things made. And I think there's a variety of reasons. The early movies that I made in collaboration with sort of established directors, and they were directing them. And, since 2008, I've been trying to direct my own movies, and I think obviously there was a financial collapse in 2008, which changed the movie business, but also, the fact that I'm trying to make movies myself now makes it more difficult. The fact that Synecdoche, New York, which was my first movie, didn't, do a lot of business, obviously hurt my chances. So, no, it's harder. It's different, and it's harder. Sure.
Hello, this is Géza Csakfri from Hungary. I have a little bit more general questions. I think lots of people want to be screenwriters nowadays, and there are lots of books, for example, by me, and you are going to be a screenwriter in 2 days if you read me. So my question would be, is this profession can be learned, or from the basis, or you need talent for writing and that's it?
I didn't understand the very last part of what you said. It can be learned from the basics, or screenwriting can be learned from a book or from some way, like a profession, or you need just talent and that's it. Oh, talented. I don't know. People do things in different ways. I wouldn't do it that way. It isn't my choice of how to do it. I think you learn it like you learn any other craft, by practicing it, and I think anybody can practice it and get better at it. The thing that I react to negatively in terms of those screenwriting courses is that they describe in very sort of specific and dogmatic ways how a screenplay should be constructed and what a screenplay needs to contain, and I don't believe that there's any one way to do that, as in there's no one way to paint a painting, and that as someone who's trying to be creative, you need the option to sort of step outside of these conventions and explore, and to be told that you can't do that, I think it makes the process of writing smaller, not bigger.
I just have again 2 questions. Actually, my name is Réka Szarkin from Hungary, and it's related to the movie. In this animation movie, you could play with a lot of things, much better maybe than with a real person movie. For instance, what was the meaning of taking the face off and putting it back for you? It happened, especially, I remember one time when it was very important, when he was walking on the corridor, your main character. And is it only me who perceived it a bit false, or I don't know, but for instance, his ex-girlfriend, I can't remember the name, Brenda?
Bella.
Bella, yes. Did she have a male voice, or was it on purpose, or it was just like a very, I don't know, for me it was like a male voice she spoke, and a lot of female characters.
Yeah, actually everybody in the movie except for 2 characters has the same voice. It's not just a male voice, it's the male voice. It's the actor who plays everybody other than Michael and Lisa. And that was a choice, obviously, that I made. And but in terms of why choices are made, and I think it's important to know that, to understand that that's what you were hearing. And that may be a harder thing to hear in a language that's not your own, I think. I think I would have a hard time in hearing it in a language that wasn't my own. But why those choices are made, I don't really ever explain when when I put out a movie why things are, because I want people to have their interaction with it and their experience with it.
So it's also related to the face.
Everything's related to everything, but I'm not going to tell you why. You've got to. That's your job if you're interested.
Eva Přibřelová, Festival Lady.
Hello, you've been for a while at the festival, so I guess you've seen the trailers for Karlovy Vary Film Festival before every screening. So because now you're gonna be the recipient of President's Award, so have you thought about trailer with you, starring with you, and do you think that you can script it yourself?
No one told me that I have to do a trailer. Is that?
Maybe not, maybe not yet.
You don't have to, but
that's what
if you want to. I think.
Well, I love being on camera. It's my favorite thing. So I'm sure I'm gonna do one, and it's gonna be great. I don't think I'll do one. I could write one for somebody else, but I'm not gonna be in it.
Tak pardon, já se omlouvám, já jsem to teď neviděla, tak ještě pan Kabát jednou a pak Mirka Spáčová ještě jednou.
Marcel Kabát, in the adaptation you're impersonated by Nicolas Cage. Was it your choice or partly your choice? And if not, what would your choice be?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it was something that Spike and I decided on. We love Nick Cage, and you know, when we heard he wanted to do it, when he was approached and he said yes, we were very excited. Yeah, I think he's great, and I think he did a really good job in the movie. And he studied me a little bit, apparently. So I understand that it looks like he acts like I act. I don't see it, but I've been told that people recognize me and his performance.
Spáčová, ještě jednou, já bych položila obecnější otázku. Vy jste tady charakterizovala situaci v Hollywoodu. Pokud víme, tak tam nastává takový zajímavý přesun spousty velkých filmových režisérů k televizní tvorbě. Zatímco studia, velká tradiční hollywoodská studia se orientují na ty blockbustery, komiksy, fantasy, tak lidé typu Soderberga nebo Lynche odcházejí pracovat pro televize. Je to pro vás zajímavé, tenhle ten trend, pro vás osobně? Děkuji.
Yeah, I would love to do TV. I've tried. I have not been successful in getting anything produced. I've written a few pilots. I actually produced and directed a pilot. We shot it, but the studio didn't pick it up, so we didn't go to series. So it's a little disheartening for me because I've tried, and I think I've done some good work in writing the pilots and also in the one that we made, and that, you know, it's a lot of effort and then nothing happens with it and they just remain sort of in a drawer somewhere. So, but yeah, if something came up that I could do, I would be very interested. And I like the idea of working in a longer form and having a story that I could tell over a series of episodes.
What was the excuse of the channel of HBO?
What was the excuse?
What was the excuse of not producing it?
At HBO?
Yeah, they reject your projects. What did they say? It's too esoteric or reality?
I don't think they felt like anyone would watch it. And I'm not kidding. I think that was sort of ultimately what it's about. I think he felt at the time that this series that I'd had two series that didn't go there. The one that got farther along, I think they felt that it was too complicated for people to understand. I don't think it was, but that's what I think they thought. I mean, who knows what they really thought? That's what they told me. I mean, they could have thought that it stunk, and they wouldn't tell me that, so.
Alena Prokopová?
Alena Prokopová, já bych se chtěla zeptat na trošku obecnější otázku, jestli se cítíte být součástí židovské komediální tradice, protože vím, že jste obdivoval nebo obdivujete Woodyho Allena a někdy se říká, že vlastně v těch židovských komediích hrdinové překonávají překážky, které vycházejí z jejich nitra, z jejich problémů, z jejich neurózy, což se mi zdá, že třeba ve vašich filmech je taková standardní situace.
I mean, it's hard to sort of separate myself from a tradition to know if this stems from, being culturally Jewish or not. I definitely write about neuroses and I write about sort of interior struggles. But I don't think of it, oh, this is part of a tradition. I think this is what I'm interested in. This is where my mind goes. These are my problems in some form. Certainly I was very influenced by Woody Allen. And maybe I'm influenced by Woody Allen because he's Jewish and I'm Jewish. I didn't think so. I thought he was really funny. And so I like things that are funny. And that's where my admiration for him came from.
Do you have in mind your next project?
I have a few things that I'm hoping will go. I've written a few screenplays that I'm sort of not counting on happening, but I would like to. have happen. I wrote a screenplay called Frank or Francis, which I've been trying to get made for 6 years now, and not been successful. And I just wrote a script for Paramount, which I would like to have made, and I don't know if it's going to happen. And you know, I'm basically trying to keep my head above water, and I'm working on a novel, which you know, that's taking up my time as well.
And just as a follow-up question, given the difficulties of working in the field that you're working in that you mentioned earlier, are you taking that into account, or are you just being uncompromising with writing what you want to write and trying to produce and direct what you want to do?
I mean, at this point in the film business, I'm taking assignments when I can get them, you know, because I need to, you know, I need to get a salary, and I can't really engage in writing spec scripts and hoping that they get made. So right now it's just sort of I'm doing what I need to do to you know, make a living, but also hoping that I can do something interesting within the framework of the assignment work that I'm doing.
Sorry, again, it's just maybe a silly practical question, but you are credited 2 directors at Anomalisa. You are credited 2 directors, and how was the collaboration? I mean,
yeah, the other person is named Duke Johnson, and he had worked for the company as a director that made the movie, a company called Starburns. So he was brought on initially, and then I said I wanted to be a director as well. And so we collaborated, and the collaboration was very, very full. You know, we collaborated, and it's an interesting process, animation, because it's very front-loaded. Most of the decisions are made before you shoot the movie, because you have to know exactly what you're planning on doing, because it takes so long. You can't do multiple takes, so you do something called an animatic, which is basically a cut version of the movie in drawings to the audio track. And so you make all those decisions, and then the process of animating it is a kind of a sort of a somewhat mechanical process of realizing what it is that you've done. So it's an easier way to collaborate as a director than a feature film where everything happens very quickly.
Okay.
You have been asked this several times, but would you be able to define humor? What's the source of the humor? But where are the limits of humor?
The limits of humor? I don't know what that. You mean like
when it's not funny? When it's not funny anymore?
You mean like something is too tragic to be funny? Is that what you mean? Oh, I don't know. I haven't found. If there's a limit, I haven't found it. I haven't really been looking for it. I think everything in anything that's funny or not funny is based on your, you know, the intention with which you do it. So. But no, I don't really. I'm not really trying. I'm not trying to shock people. So I don't really go down that road of how far can I go. I just think this is funny, so I'll use this. Is how I. That's my barometer. All the questions from right here.
Sorry, but just the last question. You mentioned yesterday that you also worked in a call center or selling tickets, and was it this thing that you took to this was also about the call center and the team leaders, and was there some kind of personal experience you remembered, or you just wanted to hit back? Because I also used to work at a call center, and it was the worst period of my life as far as I remember.
Yeah, I worked in those kind of jobs for about a decade. And you know, I just knew when I was looking for a profession for the main character in this movie, I thought that was kind of fun. It was funny that somebody would be a celebrity in that world, that there might be some celebrity in that world. So, and I know the world, so it was kind of an easy thing for me to write from his point of view. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any contemporary filmmakers or other artists you feel on the same page with, connected to, inspired by?
Yeah, I'm sure there are. I can't really think of any. I mean, I always say David Lynch and I feel like that's a boring answer at this point, but you know, he's been sort of someone who I have in my head.
Hello, thank you. You have been.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's
the
okay.
gentleman will be next. Okay.
Okay. You have been on a lot of movie festivals all over the world. How do you think about Karlovy Vary? How do you like the festival? All this.
I think it's beautiful here. I've been.
That's it. Some secret information. You know, you saw the movies, you saw the people. What do you think? What do you think?
What do I think about the people?
Yeah.
They're very nice.
Oh,
hi.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering if you've ever pitched an animated series or if you're thinking of doing more animation in the future. I take it it's much more difficult than live action, and some people do one and they say, my God, I'll never do animation again.
I would love to do another animated movie, not a series. I think that would, the ongoing process of animating every week would be really difficult to get the quality that I'd want to get. But I'd love to do another animated movie. I don't think it's in the cards easily because Anomalisa didn't make the box office. That would have helped us get another one made. But Duke, the other director, and Rosa, our producer, and I have talked a lot about doing an animated horror movie. And that's something that I want to do. But, you know, we'll see.
So more like a Tim Burton type thing?
No, a horror movie. I mean scary. I don't mean Tim Burton cute. I mean scary, you know? Like something that's really frightening. I think that this form would lend itself to some really nightmarish kind of stuff. Sure.
Super. Is there anybody?
Done. So do we have some time?
We are coming to an end anyway.
Okay.
Mirka Spáčilová, last question. Thank you.
Já bych se ještě ráda zeptala, zeptala, říká se, že...
Wait.
It's on your head.
Okay.
Ráda bych se zeptala, říká se, že scenaristika je velmi osamělá práce. Tak by mě zajímalo, jestli máte nějaký rituál psaní, protože my všichni tady víceméně píšeme a víme, co to je za ty řemesla, ale tohle je samozřejmě jiné. Jestli máte rituály psaní, jestli spíš věříte na takovou tu pravidelnou každodennost, ať se to daří nebo nedaří, nebo spíš na nějaké náhlé osvícení a hlavně, jestli často trháte to, co napíšete. Děkuji.
I have a ritual of procrastination. that is my writing process. You know, it takes me a long time, and it's always a struggle for me to write and to find kind of the direction that I want to find. I don't write sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months. But I'm always thinking about it, and so I tend to get blocked a lot. And then I came to a point several years ago, I realized that that's just part of the process, that sometimes it just takes a long time to get somewhere. And if you rush it, or if I rush it, then I'm gonna choose an inferior direction. And so in the end, when I look back on something that I feel I've been somewhat successful for, I'm thankful that it's taken me a long time, that I didn't force it in a direction I didn't know how to do or I didn't want to go. But yeah, I get stuck a lot. I walk a lot. I carry a notebook and I walk. I go to a cafe almost every day and get coffee and sit there and try to write. That's my ritual.
Is there anybody? Okay. So one more last question. Okay.
Hello, I'm Sándor Baski from Hungary, and I would like to know if you ever consider directing a superhero movie for the money or for you to play it deconstructed Charlie Kaufman style.
Because what?
Superhero movie.
Yeah, but for the money or for what?
So you can do it for the either the money or you do it somehow else. So not just.
Yeah, if
no,
I were
not in the mainstream way, but
yeah.
in your own style.
I mean, I would sort of like to. I mean, people don't come to me and ask me to do things like that. It's not like I'm turning them down all over the place, you know. I think that those movies, because they're very expensive to make, there's a kind of a lot of people watching and making sure that it fits a certain formula, which doesn't interest me. I mean, if someone would approach me and give me freedom to do something eccentric or interesting to me in that regard, then I would consider it. I don't want to do the cookie cutter thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.